And we are live.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table for me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head in oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. Thank you for being with us today as we remember the life of Bolt Action First Edition. We're deeply saddened with the loss of First Edition, but we celebrate its life and its brief flicker of flame most momentously in this combined operation. Sorry, I'm very sad. This combined operations podcast today. I now hand it over to our compere, Kieran Byrne, who will take us forward.
Yeah, happy times. Happy times of the combined operations this evening. Anyway, we've done the... Tim wanted to read the eulogy out because he's seen this as a bit of the funeral. This is not the funeral. This is the wake. This is where all the relatives get far too drunk, have a fight on the dance floor, and let's remember the good times of. Yeah. So obviously the dulcet tones of the Right Reverend Tim Stevens you heard there reading the sermon for the. Well, it's not really the deceased version one, is it? To be quite honest, it's not gone.
No,
it's like we said when we put the shout out for the people to give us their memories. It's handbraking into that retirement home in Southern California, wearing the gold lame jumpsuit tracksuit, having a trophy bride on his arm that's about 50 years younger than he is. It's gonna, get nurses to change his adult diapers, and it's gonna go out in complete disgrace, as it should do. So before we get to the whole talking about our fondness for version 1 and the thanks for it, what we do, we haven't been together for a few weeks since the last episode. A lot of stuff has gone on in the different areas that we come from. So what we thought we'd do, just get all that, tidy it up out the way, do the small talk before we get into the drinking and into the reminiscing about the good times. So, like I said, Tim's there, I'm here, Kieran's here. So let's go to the young Mr. Matthew Rattenbury, because he was the first one here. Because like he said on the little live video that he just did, me and Tim were too busy having a shower and sitting on the toilet to have a poo before we come on. Just so we don't have to, break up what we're doing. Just so, we don't have to have a break. No, we're thinking about you, our viewing public and our listening public out there, that we didn't want to, cause any disruption this evening. Because it's going to be a nice episode this evening, I think, anyway. So, Matt, what have you been up to over the last couple of weeks since we've not been together?
I really need to get another shit. No, seriously. I had to set up the computer. I'm sorry. What have I been up to these couple weeks? I have been playing a lot of Guild Ball in preparation for a little tournament I'm hosting at my house, actually, with a few friends. I have also been playing an ongoing little campaign of Frostgrave, which behind me, if you're watching the video, you can see I've got some terrain that I've been putting together for it. On the bolt action front, I've got my most of my pieces now for my army for October come in, which are in various states of painting and putting togetherness. And I'm just waiting on a Matilda tank because, yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I'm also waiting for my version 2 stuff to come through on the bolt action. But it's been a pretty quiet few weeks for me, actually, because I've been mostly trying to find a new job. Timothy, how about you?
It's all been a bit quiet on the home front. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in the background, private life, which I'm not going to go into here. But apart from that, working on my early war Germans, getting them put together. In the vain hopes I might go overseas for a tournament one day. And what else have I been doing? Working on other people's armies, a few commissions at the moment. Imperial Guard Taurox, putting together US Army for someone, and finishing off some Finns with lots of medium howitzers, and I think the Finnish player who I'm painting them for, he's going to be bitterly disappointed with the new template rules, because we had a look at them last night on the live feed. I don't know how many people got to watch that, but templates I think are a lot fairer now in the new rules. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, off to a tournament next week, so in final preparations for that. I'll be taking some cherry pickers with Armoured Recce platoon, British, so that'll be cool. I'm really looking forward to that. Everything's ready to go for that. Yeah, no, it's all been pretty cool. Kieran, how have you been going?
Oh, mate, I've been absolutely snowed under with everything. So I've had the club 2 tournaments that have basically kicked back off for their final stages the last couple of weeks. So it's pretty much the last couple of months of me running the Dutch throughout the year. So I've got the end of this competition, and then there's a 1-day tournament, so like November-ish time, which I'm running them at, and then they'll be done for the year, and I'll move on to something else. The other competition I've been running me Hungarians in. There has been various battle reports and videos that have gone up on various Facebook groups. There's actually just a quick shout out for anyone who's listening who is interested or has put a Hungarian army together for bolt action. There's a new group that I've started called the Bolt Action Honved. Now, I'll put a link in the show notes afterwards, but you've got basically all the guys that have put all the guides out. You've got Mad Bob on there, obviously, with his range of models. So it's just somewhere, because you know there's blokes from Australia, there's blokes from America, there's blokes from the UK who run the armies, and although the articles tend to appear on their own Facebook groups, they get lost now and again with the rest of the Facebook traffic that goes on those groups. So I just started it up, and it's just a place to bring all that information together, maybe as a starting point, maybe to have a look at. So great if anyone out there is interested, get on and join the group. So that's part one of what I've been doing. Part two with the Hungarians is I've been trying to put weird and wonderful units together to run in the army. So stuff I've never run before in game, never run an air observer. So I've gone out and got myself an air observer and a Stuka in Hungarian colours. I've just painted up a T-34 for again the Hungarians, because they had it as captured tanks, but I'm going to run it as a Panzer III in the list, because you get that Axis support as one of your national special rules. And I've also got like a pack wagon that was hanging them out doing nothing. So I just thought, yeah, I'll paint that up as well. So it's going to be a weird, like eclectic mix of different bits and pieces going to that army. So I've just been having a bit of a giggle putting all that stuff together. So that's really hobby-wise what I've been doing. The other one is, you heard Matt talk about it a couple of minutes ago, the event in October. Obviously, this is the event that I'm running. So I've been painting houses, printing table plans up, getting everyone organised, doing draws for all the different rounds, whatever other bits of I don't know, organisation needs to be done, finalising everything. To be quite honest, it's getting a bit. Be the TO, mate. Yeah. The long-suffering stuff that you have to do. I mean, next time I've learned my lesson now. It's got a bit too big for me to do on my own now. I mean, before it was like about 15, 16 players, I think, total. And this one's gone up to 24 already. So I think it's just a bit too much. But this is, again, linking into something else that I want to tell everyone about. Everyone knows that we had Jamie Tranter from Rubicon on for an interview a couple of episodes ago. Or maybe it might have even been last episode. I can't quite remember. All these are going into
the last episode. Yep.
Yeah, so the last episode. So all these are slowly but surely merging into one episode, and through lack of sleep or whatever. But Jamie's quite local to me. I mean, he's only like 10, 15 minutes away. And anyone who's on any one of the Rubicon groups or even friends with Jamie would know that he's just moved in to his first purpose studio. So to be able to do more of his painting videos and this, that and the other. So I went down to see him a couple of weeks ago, just as he'd moved in, give him a little hand to put the 479 different shades of green bottles in the paint racks that he's got all the way around his studio. I mean, it's just, honestly, the amount of paint that's in that studio for miniatures is just so scary. It's unbelievable. So yeah, in the studio where he's got, there's a couple of workshop areas which are for, well, jumping ahead, the building he's in is called the Infamous Arts Collective, and basically it's an old building, and you've got loads of different medium of artists that rent studio space there. So you've got set designers, carpenters, painters, and this, that, and the other. But what they also have is there's a couple of rooms that they have for like workshops where they get to like kids in to come and do some kind of craft or whatever. And these rooms pretty much aren't used over the weekends. So Jamie's had spoken to the owner of the building. The owner of the building's fine. So basically he has set up a new wargaming society that's going to be run out of this studio space. So I think the Facebook group went live today. It's going to be called Infamous Wargaming. The first meeting, I think, is the end of October. So if anyone's, West Midlands based or in the West Midlands around that date and want to come down and join in, there's going to be, I think the first one, what we're going to do, because it's easy and straightforward, it's just going to be a little 500 point bolt action day. So you're going to, maybe get a couple of games in during the day. So yeah, so that's the long list of the stuff I've been doing. So I've been doing more than you bunch of fuckers anyway.
Braggart, you're a braggart,
bastard. I'm gonna hope to try and get down or up for me to the infamous War Games opening, if I can.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that you put yourself down as a maybe. I mean, you know, it's with Jamie's sort of like network of friends that he's got on Facebook. It's going to be sort of like, a gathering of the, you know, famous, not so famous. Yeah, pretty much. You know,
the infamous.
I mean, exactly. The infamous goes to infamous War Games. So there you go.
There you go.
So, yeah, all
no,
good
I
fun.
wish I was in England. Oh, I'm bitterly disappointed. Oh.
If I win the lottery,
Yeah.
Tim, I'll pay for your flight over.
Sweet. Hey,
I wouldn't.
speaking of news and all that sort of living in England, thanks to Brexit, it now looks as though Australians and British are going to have a better deal of working in either country. So, Prime Ministers are looking to nut out a new deal where that's concerned, which I think is pretty damn cool. So, yeah, who knows? A few years' time, I could be working over with you guys for no apparent reason. Probably behind a bar, somewhere shady.
Yeah, mate, I'll trade you.
Bar?
I'll trade. Oh, combined operations game cafe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We should do that.
No, I'd rather have a pub.
Set it up there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'd definitely be sort of alcohol involved. Yeah.
Yeah. What would we call it if it was a pub? Because you guys have some pretty, like we've got, boring names for our pubs, but like usually, Birdsville Hotel or Birdsville Pub, but you guys come up with some pretty fantastic names for your pubs. So yeah, like the Cock and Bull or the Green Dragon.
Dungeons and Flagons.
Hey, that's a good one. Yeah.
No, you put me on the spot now. I can't think.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. Pub.
He's Irish. All he's thinking now is Guinness.
Yeah.
My fucking Lucky Charms are gone. Oh no. Fiddly potatoes.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah. So, how can you fight against that? How can you possibly fight against it? I mean, so last week I had
and Tim's gone.
Yeah, I had an Australian, an American. Well, it's actually two Americans. One patriotised Australian technically, and it's like another English lad. And basically, they're all taking the piss out of me because I'm from the Black Country, Birmingham. So everyone knows this is like normal accent. I'm not putting this on it. The way you hear me now is the way I speak. This is not any kind of telephone voice where I get that on a collective podcast, and then I have to come on and deal with fucking Tim Stevens shit as well.
It's a hard life when you're famous.
You love it. You fucking love it.
Yeah, I suppose. Glutton for punishment. That's what it is. Oh dear. Right. So there we go. That's what I've been doing. So that was a really enthralling, it's like 10-15 minutes, I'm sure. It'll probably get bloody cut out anyway, so I don't care. But we've been chatting away. So I think we should get down to the brass tacks of why we're all gathered here this evening. So I don't know who wants to take it out. Should we give it to Matt? Because Matt really hasn't said much. It's basically been me and you, Tim, hasn't it? So okay, Matt, you are to lead the eulogy for version 1. Ready? Go.
I So it's with a heavy heart that we come to this section, and Tim's obviously already done his part and given it the best farewell that he did, in the beginning. So I myself have been a bolt action player for probably almost 2 years now. Ish. It was my first historical war game. It will not be the last. And I'm going to continue with version 2, its child, and give it every support I've given its father. But hopefully it will not let me down. It will grow into an excellent game, as version 1 was. It's got templates. I'm okay with that. I've played 40k. I'll live. I'll adapt. As any good wargamer can and should. It has officers that tell people what to do. Holy crap, it's like real life. I can't remember what the other changes are. Armoured transports, they can finally fucking shoot by themselves. Whoop-de-doo. It's like they took every feedback people have made and put it into the game. I think as a player, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm waiting for my copy to show up. Sooner the better. We've had a peek at some of the rules from various videos and podcasts, people talking about it. Will it change the way I play? Probably not. I'll still lose. I sometimes win. I'm going to play tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. The Soviets are knocking on the door.
Gonna lose. Gonna lose.
I haven't lost against him yet. Sorry, Adam. I actually might play Conflict tomorrow. I haven't played it yet. So yeah. I enjoyed some of Tim's game. Was it earlier today for me? I think it was. Today has been one long blur at work. Tim, was it earlier today?
Yeah, it was last night for me, so yeah, earlier.
Yeah. So it was on my lunchtime. I got to watch a bit of it, and Tim looked like he was having fun. His A9 was causing all kinds of mayhem when I was watching. So I'll take my A9 out tomorrow for a little stroll, mow down some Russian hordes. But yeah, I've enjoyed version 1.
The A9 was gold.
Very much looking forward to version 2. And getting to grips with all the changes. Obviously, we've got one more version 1 blowout in October. We're going to keep mentioning it this episode. I think this is going to be the plug for the gathering. A version 1 blowout. Blow away the cobwebs.
I'm sort of thinking that in the back of my mind, is the gathering going to be the last version 1 tournament played worldwide? Is that a bit of a semi claim to fame that we are the finishing point, the ending point, the waving goodbye to it as it disappears over the horizon event?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Kieran. I think I think over the next month you're gonna have all the version 1 games.
Yeah, Tim's breaking up. I don't know if he's frozen or gone. So it could be a bit of lag on his connection.
Yeah, well, stupid Australian.
Yeah, well, it's travelling around and going through.
Yeah, this is true.
All those copper wires that are laid on the bottom of the sea and all the rest of it. Yeah, so we put a shout out on various Facebook groups, and we're basically asking for everyone to, submit a couple of minutes just talking about version 1, the good times they've had with the game, the good points that they've picked up from it. So we have got a few of them that come in. There's going to be a few more that are going to come in over the next week or so, because hopefully we'll be able to put this episode out just before the version 1 official rule date. I know there's going to be people on Facebook who have already seen that some shops are already selling it,
I
even
did see
though
that
some
today,
like
actually.
Warlord.
And I haven't got my copy
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, but I don't
That's
think
pretty
it's
damn awesome.
actually. Yeah, because I don't think it's Warlord who have distributed it. I think it's certain shops that get their stock direct from Osprey, and Osprey have sent it out to them and haven't told them, so like, you can't do this until the official release date. So
I did read a comment from someone saying that they were at an event with a Warlord stand today, that they were actually selling version 2.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I don't think it's a case of Warlord moaning that Warlord are selling it before Warlord have said they're going to sell it. I think they're a bit miffed that a lot of independent gaming stores and independent bookstores might be selling it already. They might have got a bit miffed by the whole thing. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. That's everybody else's.
We're here to talk about everything.
Crap to deal with.
Can I just chime in just briefly?
No. Yeah, go on then.
Sure. This sort of thing happens all the time. I remember back when Lord of the Rings game came out in Australia with Games Workshop, David Jones, who's like a Harrods here in Australia, big department store, actually released their copies of Lord of the Rings quite early on the shelves, and Games Workshop got up in arms. But these things happen. It's not something that worries me. Here you go. But yeah, this sort of thing happens all the time.
Yeah, well, enough. Draw a line under that anyway. So getting back to the point that I was making. Obviously, we had a lot of people who have put in a couple of snippets of audio time. All those hopefully will be at the end of the episode. So we'll have a rolling eulogy from people. I mean, we have got a lot of named people who are known within the larger Bolt Action family who have agreed to put something together, and hopefully we'll have those in time to put together with the episode. And just what we wanted to give people a chance to do was maybe give a bit of thanks, and recount the the awesome stories for the awesome game that Bolt Action version 1 was. I mean, it come out 20th of September 2012, I think was the official release date for it. So now, pretty much 4 years later to the day, we're getting version 2. I mean, in those 4 years, for a version 1 rule set, which is what it was, I think, can many other rule sets live up to the level of interest and the level of involvement that a game has had over the last 4 years since it's been going. So I don't know, Tim. What do you think?
I'm gonna miss the game terribly. I'm gonna miss it for its crazy ass flamethrowers. I loved that. You rock up with a vehicle. I played one game with a vehicle flamethrower, a universal carrier, with the flamethrower in it, and I'd never had the opportunity to use one before, and I thought, right, I'm going to use it on my unsuspecting friend who's using fins, the beardy git, how dare you play fins, and it was awesome. I just rock up to a unit delete, commander gone, 10-man unit disappeared, another 10-man unit disappeared, and it's just hilarious. And then, I've got the Daimler armored car running around, blowing shit up, or shooting at units and pinning down units before they can deal with the flamethrower vehicle. It's just hilarious shit. It's completely Hollywood, and I loved it. I love it for what it was, and I think, they've made a lot of really cool changes to the rules, but, it's going to be fun in about 5 years' time, probably when 3rd edition comes out, to go back and do a retro game on it and just go, well, this is what we originally played, and this is what the rules were as written back in the day, and, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And, it's just a great game, absolutely brutal. For me, coming to it from Warhammer 40k, where assaults are long and drawn out, it's the assault system really is awesome, and they've carried that on into 2.0. Just the brutal nature of it. You get in there, you assault your enemy, and if you get more wounds in than your enemy, then they're destroyed. It just makes the game so much faster paced, and it's quite a few innovative features in it. The order dice are brilliant. You very interactive. You go, I go, all within a single game turn. It wasn't as though other systems use an initiative stat, or 40k can get very long and drawn out when you feel like your opponent's taken about 20 minutes just to move an entire army, whereas you're spending about half an hour between two players to move everyone moving and counter moving, and learning when to use your orders correctly, and when is it appropriate and tactically sound to do that. So it's been a great and innovative game to play, especially coming at it from playing Warhammer 40k for so long. And it was good to get away from the arms race as well of 40k, because with World War II you've got a very set list of what you can and can't take. So an arms race isn't really going to happen in bolt action, I didn't feel. Sure, you'd get heavier tanks and what have you, but there was a limit on it. It wasn't like you're going to get crazy super heavy walkers, although now we can with conflict, but that's a choice of whether you want to actually play conflict or not. So love the game. I'd like to keep playing it, but at the end of the day, though, my friends will move on from that and keep playing 2.0. On to Battle Group. 2.0. So
that was almost a slip, almost a little slip.
Just kidding. No, I'll be playing Battle Group and 2.0, I think. I think I want to have a look at some different World War II games and see what they're like. But definitely I'll still be playing 2.0 probably the most often out of the two. Battle Group will probably be more a casual affair with my friends that actually want to play it.
Yes, come on, Matt. Reminiscing version 1.
Flamethrowers suck. I've used one in one game. It ran up, it fired, it ran out of fuel, and it left. Never taken one again. But good moments. Artillery strike. No, preliminary bombardment in a tournament game. It was actually against my friend. I think it was my first tournament, and it was the preliminary bombardment. I put a few pins down on his units, got to his little Panzer I, blew it up. His face was a treat, an absolute treat. I've never smiled so much at the beginning of a game before we'd even rolled any dice. Well, before he'd rolled any dice, anyway. Yeah, that was a great moment. And then beating him again in the next tournament, which he did pretty well in, but yeah. In our friendly games, he regularly beats me, so beating him in a competitive scene is always quite fun. But it's a great game, and I've enjoyed the last 2 years of playing it and meeting new people. It's got me into some, well, great circles of friendship, which has helped us get people, hopefully, some little eulogies, to go at the end of the show, and meet a lot of great people, and end up doing this podcast as well. So if it wasn't for Bolt Action, I wouldn't, none of us would be sat here chatting about stuff right now. So it's been a fantastic game. I will look forward to continuing.
Yeah, no, since it's just you saying, and so without Bolt Action, none of us would be sat here doing this podcast. I just thought, without Bolt Action, I'd probably had a social life and be out on the Saturday night.
Is it Saturday? I forgot. Actually,
Sunday for me.
Yes, mate. Yeah, this is supposed to be more for you, Matt, because you're technically the youngest. You should be still out, coming in at 6 o'clock in the morning from a some
Walk
kind of discotheque or
that's just all the weeks in between.
5 girls on the arm.
Yeah.
But yeah,
probably not.
No. There's not enough room for 5 girls in all my crap.
Yeah, so I mean that's the one real big takeaway that I'm going to have. The bit that's just Matt said. To be quite honest, at the end of the day, the memories I'll take forward won't technically be of the game directly, but will be the people surrounding it, the people that I've met, the people that I've talked to, the people that I've interacted on Facebook for better or for worse for over the last 4 years since this game's been out and been played. And I know there's a lot of people who, especially over the last maybe year and a half, 2 years, have started to become a bit disenchanted with the game, moaning about certain things that happened, certain things that needed to be changed, and this, that, and the other. I know some people have been very proactive and have had the best interests at heart to make changes. So, the whole community out there, whether you agree with the changes that they made, I think you have to take your hats off to them. A big round of thanks needs to go to those people. But yeah, just the whole, I don't want to say social side of it, but the whole the supporting cast, I'm going to say the supporting cast around the game. So not the people who've been directly involved with getting the game out, but it's been one of them games where the players have made the game. It's not been about the company that's been behind it, supplying this, that, or the other to the community and them driving it forward. It has literally been a game that a worldwide community has taken up and a worldwide community has taken forward to be. I mean, I know it doesn't, appear quite high on any of these voting of games that people play and all the rest of it. I know it's it's there or thereabouts, but it's never going to rival some of the big historical games and the big fantasy games that the people play and are very defensive about how good those games are. But to be quite honest, I don't think there's any other game that I've played since Bolt Action come out that I've enjoyed more and got the most out of, if you understand what I mean. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who feel the same. I know there's, like I say, there's people who have become disenchanted with the game and done, everything they could to put it down for everybody else. But to be quite honest, the way that it's talked about, the way that it's defended, and the way that it's attacked as well, just shows the level of passion people have for the game. So again, hopefully you'll hear the testimonials and little eulogies at the end of the show, and hopefully that will show you worldwide what a game Bolt Action version 1 has been. And to be quite honest, time to raise a drink to version 1, say thank you very much, go and have a nice rest, and hopefully version 2 can take up the mantle where version 1 has left off. So, slight little somber note. Do apologise. I know we're having a bit of a giggle, and I said it was going to be. I said it was going to be a bit of a wake rather than the funeral. But to be quite honest, those are my thoughts. That's what I hope, and that's what I want to say. Not only thank you to the game, but thank you to the Bolt Action family for being here this evening, for listening to me waffle on, and that's all I've got to say on the matter. So, done. So, anyone else want to put a bit more into it, or shall we
I think
move on? Everyone happy?
I think we've raised a glass and said what we have to say. So
we've done good. Obviously, we've got to have everyone else's feedback as well at the end. Hopefully, we'll have a few.
Yeah, that's something I didn't want to waffle on too much, because we're going to hear from a lot of people about it. So it's not just about us doing it. Hear from everyone else who's been playing it as well, then you get a feel for how liked it is and all the rest of it. It was one of the cool popular kids, wasn't it? Bolt Action version 1 in the games world. Maybe not the most intelligent, but it had the nicest hair and the nicest cars and all the rest of it, and so everyone wanted to be its friend. So
it's true.
So there we go.
Although I will say it caused a few fights here down under where I am. I know that it was stealing a few players away, and a few of the older 40k players were having a bit of a sledge off at former 40k players who went to Bolt Action, and they'd be sledging them, caused quite a few arguments. So good on Bolt Action for upsetting the apple cart.
Yeah, but you Australians like to fight. You have a fight over what kind of car you own. Well, you've got the GM guys. You've got the So any excuse.
Can't really talk.
Yeah, but at least we do it. At least
Or
we do it
get
with style, mate.
I think I'll go bomb a car park.
Hey, said, how can you win? How can you possibly win?
He touched me pot of gold.
Anyway.
He touched me pot of gold. What a bastard. I'm going to blow him up.
Yeah, all I'm saying is check under your car tomorrow morning. Get that mirror on a stick.
Oh, maybe I want that box.
I do wonder where the fuck I got the car from.
Yeah.
Chances are it wouldn't have been the IRA that blew up my car, though. Chances are it'd been the North Koreans, because I drive a Hyundai.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, especially wearing that hat. No, this won't make a blind. this might make a blind bit of sense to people who are listening to this as a podcast, but Tim, would you like to explain the headwear that you decided to wear on this podcast this evening?
So tonight, as a bit of a laugh, I'm wearing a Donald Trump Make America Great cap. It is awesome. My brother got me this for Father's Day. I think it was like a $6 job from eBay, and it's brilliant. It's got like the 3 stars on the back. Oh, where is it? There it is. The 3 stars on the back and the American flag on each side. I mean, it's awesome. I've got to admit, I don't like Trump's politics at all, but, you know, anywhere for a bit of a facetious joke, yeah, I'll take the Mickey. So, yeah, hence my hat. I'm also wearing a old T-shirt of mine, which is one of my favorites, which is the Lannister 2012 political movement, Lannister for keeping it in the family 2012, which I think, you know, probably sums up the American situation as well at the moment with the Clintons. So, you know, I'm a bit of a political satirist at heart and joker. So, you know, you're going to make America great because, you know, otherwise China's going to take over.
Well, there you go. That was a party political broadcast on behalf of the Stevens Party.
It's interesting to look at it though, because you know,
no, it's
America,
not. No,
America is now where
it's not.
Great Britain was at the turn of the 20th century.
19th century.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the 1900s. Not the 19th century. 1900s.
1900s. No, yeah, late 1800s, like 1890s, 1900s.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, it's not a party political broadcast.
No,
anyway,
no,
let's get off that.
Listen to Dan Cullen's common sense.
Yeah, that bit will definitely get cut after he's explained about his hat. I'm not going to put the political rhetoric into it because
it'll upset people.
So as Matt did say a little bit earlier, for people in the UK earlier on today, and for Tim last night, we had him pick up the version 2 rule changes, and he roped one of his friends in to come down to his basement. Probably not for the first time that's ever happened.
It was actually Hayden's basement. I went to Hayden's basement.
Again, I say probably not the first time that's ever happened.
Giddy up.
So basically what they did an awesome job of trying to run through all the version 2 changes that were out there for what they could do, and I think they did, you know, quite an awesome job of it. So hopefully it will stay up on the Combined Ops Facebook page for a while. Maybe Tim might, you know, do a bit of a editing job on it, try and get maybe a few of the gaps out of it where they're checking through the rules. But you know, so we've seen now version 2. We're not going to go into all the rule changes or anything like that, because there's a load of other information that's available out there. So we're not going to pick it apart. We're not going to go through it. But what I thought we'd do, because we've all had it for about a week. We know all the changes that are going into it now. So I just want to ask, from an armies you've got already that were set up to run as version 1, do you think that you're going to make any major changes to bring them in line with what's in version 2 from the outset, or are you going to try and run the same version 1 armies in version 2 and see how it goes? So probably the person who's had the most play testing out of us here is probably Tim. So I'm going to go. It's going to be Tim first. Then we'll go to Matt and ask him his thoughts, and then we'll come back to myself. And probably at the end of this section, we're probably going to go for a quick couple of minute break. So, yeah. So, Tim, what are your thoughts now, having played through it a bit?
I know nothing. Yeah, I think having played it, I know recce rules have changed, and that's where the strength in my current army lies. It's a recce army. It's a recce armored car company. So, you're looking at four vehicles that can all recce. Yeah, which has changed substantially in the new rules. If you've had an opportunity to listen to the other podcasts or check out Beasts of War or what have you, the recce move is now, it's not an additional move, so you've got to weigh up whether you actually do it or not, or you fire and then you don't have the opportunity to recce. So I think, yeah, it's really going to hit hard on my army. I'd like to run it to see what happens with that and how to run that tactically. But my other problem is, as a compulsive collector, I tend to collect at least one army a year. So my early war Germans are already gearing up to be 2.0 conform to 2.0. So yeah, and I'm looking at late war Germans as well for 2.0. Probably get lots of Rubicon Hetzers. That'd be awesome. But, I think, yeah, it'd be fun to run the cherry pickers in 2.0 just to see what they can do and how that changes. I don't know that I'd really worry about it too much. I might change a few units in the army. I might even change it out to be Cromwell and Sherman tanks, the Fireflies. So, it's an interesting one. But yeah, I think I'd still enjoy playing my armies. I design them more around the fluff than and around the historical side of it. That's where I tend to design them, and I stick to that. So the rules changes I'm not too worried about. I think it'll be good fun. So yeah. Matt, what are your thoughts?
I would like to try my army obviously a few times first before I make too many changes, just to see how it still plays. I've got my late war Brits and I've got my early war Brits. I've got a few Germans on the way actually as well. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with those yet though. So we'll see how it plays out really. I might use some of the stuff that I haven't really used much of, like machine gun, like medium machine gun teams, just now that they've got a bit more kick. The sniper changes are interesting. I'm not sure if that will make me use a sniper more or less. Possibly the same amount. I'm not sure. I might try my half tracks a bit more and try running those again. As I've not really had that much success with them, I tend to just take trucks at the moment. But we'll see now that they have a bit more of a point to them. Let's see how that goes.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
With the half tracks now, I know that they don't need a dude in them to be firing anymore, but I think there was an errata in 1.0 that meant that veteran units in them wouldn't get pinned if they were shot at. Is that correct, or?
Pass. I actually have no idea.
Kieran, do you know?
No, I don't think there was anything like that, mate. To be quite honest, not that I remember ever hearing about. I know there was some. I think it was. I think it was Dave Hunter from Down Order when he was on the Bacon Burgers podcast. He did mention that he had come up with a similar idea, sort of a couple of years ago, that he put forward that was never taken up. So I think that's you might be getting it from there, but no, nothing that I've ever heard about.
Yeah, I think I've heard a similar thing. I've heard people talk about something similar, but never realized or never seen it in the rules anyway. But yeah, I'm not sure with at the moment. I've tend to have a sort of a couple of howitzers on mortar in my army, so we'll see how they play out with. I'll probably carry on running sort of a 2-platoon list because I think the officers now have a bit more of an impact as well. But yeah, like I said, until I sort of get a few games under my belt, I'm not entirely sure what's going to change. Without trying it really. But obviously Tim's the current expert. I'll make him make me a list.
Bullshit.
Yeah, definitely called bullshit on that one, being an expert on anything. Yeah, he's probably the one who's got the most game time in it, so he probably understands a bit more.
All of an hour and a half.
Well, it's pretty much more version 2 than a lot of people have played and are already. So
that's true.
Theory hammering and rules hammering the stuff that's out there before they've even played it and understand what it does and how it's balanced in the game. Everyone's.
Yeah, if I took anything away from that game last night, it's that LMGs and medium machine guns, light machine guns and medium machine guns are worth taking now for the 20 points. They've got some real kick in them, and they do add firepower to your unit. So that'll be something you see changing in the game. You'll see more light machine guns and medium machine guns, which is good. I think you'll see less air observers. I don't think they'll have the kick in it. Artillery observer really remains about the same in what it can do. Probably slightly more powerful with the scatter because there's a randomness in there that means it won't necessarily scatter back to your position, or opponent can't choose your position anymore. Yeah, I think howitzers are going to be pretty solid. No, they won't be able to delete units, but yeah, they're still solid. They can still put out the pins and still take away half a unit quite easily. Saw that last night in with the airstrike. With the I think it's effectively a heavy howitzer hit. What I will say is I do appreciate that comes in and it's not doing 3d6 or something like that. Like Hayden said at the end of the second video or second cast, it's not like a plane can come in and do 3d6 hits. And yes, you might roll 3 1s, but you're also equally likely to roll 3 6s and just, get those 18 hits on a 6-7 man squad. So yeah, those are my thoughts at the moment. Kieran?
Yeah. Well, I've to be quite honest, I was saying with the Dutch lot, with the event that they're in at the end of the year, that's going to be under version 2 rules, and it's also got a couple of restrictions on it. It's like 1,000 points, and it's 12 order dice list. So the 1,000 points I've been running for that is pretty much null and void because that's up to like 14, 15 order dice, so I'm not going to be able to use that list. So I've really had to have a good think with the list I'm going to take for that based on what I understand of the new rules as they are. So I'm going to run a big officer. I'm going to take a captain, just for the hell of it. I mean, to be quite honest, my Dutch list shouldn't really beat or shouldn't be as competitive against the event 1,000 point 12 order dice armies that you're going to be put up against. So I'm going not to. Pretty much, I don't care if I win, draw a game. To be quite honest, I just want to try a lot of stuff out against maybe people who haven't got a lot of experience with how version 2 works, and maybe one have taken every kind of little nuance that they've put in the game and tried it. So I'm taking a captain. All my infantry squads are going to be full strength. So they're all going to be at the 10 men, so try and take advantage of that the re-roll that you're going to get with the 10-man squads now. I'm still keeping me couple of howitzers in at the moment. Pretty much, because I've always run a couple of howitzers in the list, so might as well keep them going. And I mean now, because they can turn and fire now at a -1, under direct fire against squads, they're going to be as potent as they was before. The couple of vehicles I've got that are in the list are both going to have pintle-mounted machine guns, so they're going to be doing stuff against the air observers that you're still going to see, because obviously US lists are still going to be taking the observer, even though it's been toned down a little bit. It's still going to be it's still going to be a part of that force, because you get to do it twice. But just as I really think so the rules as they stand now, I can really see that it's given the like the historical makeup of units, where it was pretty much 10 men, and it was 7 men with rifles, and then an LNG group within the makeup. So pretty much all the soldiers' standard weapon was the rifle. It wasn't submachine gun, it wasn't an assault rifle, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. It was rifles and LMGs. Now I think the way they are now, having put the restrictions on LMGs, not LMGs, on assault rifles, tone down the assault capability you get running submachine guns. I think now having a rifle LNG squad is a really viable choice in the game. It's not now about how much pimping out you can do with units with all these different weapon options. So yeah, I'm going to try it, see what happens. Like I say, don't care, just try it, and I think I'll sorry, I think I'll be a better judge after having played at a competitive level under the rules, and at least try and use as many as the rules I can within the force I'm going to run, to maybe give them a bit more competitive edge to what they do. So yeah, I'm quite interested to see how it runs now, because obviously I've got the comparable of having to run the same makeup of army under version 1 rules, and I've gone straight from that to playing it straight under version 2, so I've got the complete what's where the major difference is going to lie for that army, and hopefully I can take that into the other armies that I've run. So yeah, don't know. Interesting times ahead, I think. Interesting times. I mean, so Tim's picked up on it that he's gearing up for next year's armies. It's going to be the early war one you're already putting together is one that's already sort of gearing up to be a version 2 force, and you said you've got the later war, maybe other Germans that are going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
The ones that are going to be the straight up build to what you have now, and maybe obviously waiting until November when the new Army of Germany's book comes out as well.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to the new Armies of Germany book. It'll be interesting to see how they level it out to fit with the other armies books, because as we all know, a lot of the German players out there are always having a cry about how, armies of Britain's awesome, United States is awesome, but we've got crap. I think you can argue that, but you can also argue that Germans have got some really cool shit in there, especially the Waffen SS units, and their tanks are pretty awesome now too in the new rule set without any of the rules changes, with their medium machine guns, especially the early war tanks if you're fighting against other early war tanks. I think it'll be good fun. I think Germany's got a lot to look forward to, but at the same time I think they've got to keep it at a certain level altogether. Matt?
Have we seen the new German special rule yet?
No, it's rumours of rumours, I believe.
I've heard. I've got one.
Okay.
That is fairly. Well, I don't know the exact ruling on it, but I know roughly what it relates to. I think is what I'm told.
Oh, juicy bits! I love juicy bits. Let's go.
It's something to do with getting a bonus for taking a heavy or super heavy tank.
No way.
And basically, it's like Tiger Fear or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
I love it.
Don't hold me to it, but that is what I've heard from a pretty reliable source.
Guess whose Yag Tiger's coming out of retirement?
Yeah, but here you go. Right in. I wasn't going to say it, but there has been rumour mill floating about, and I do have another rumour against what the new one of the other special rules is. It's not massive change, but it's there. It's sort of like brought it in for what we're seeing in K47, but that hasn't gone as far. Basically, that if your NCO gets knocked out, you roll the dice on the 4, 5, or 6. It gets pass that. Basically, they've reduced that. Basically, the rumor I've heard is that it's been reduced down, and now it's basically anything but a 1. So pretty much, if your NCO gets
awesome.
your NCO, that's yeah, because I know we see it in K47, because K47 they don't suffer any minuses from losing their NCO anyway, do they?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I have to get my hands on that rule set. So
yeah, Matt, reach for your book and check that one. Check that one. I'm sure I've seen it that they don't suffer any negatives if the NCO gets taken out. But like I
Meanwhile,
say,
here's some waiting music while we wait for Matt to check the rules.
no, we'll just talk over. We'll just talk over him, and so like he's been sitting there silently, breathing into his microphone whenever he talks anyway. So all we get is, it's sort of like a one of them dirty phone calls you get.
Initiative training.
Yeah.
I want to score. So it's still on K47. It's still a 4, 5, or 6. It takes over. It does say at the bottom, if the NCO is successfully replaced, the unit does not suffer the usual -1 morale penalty for using its NCO.
Oh, that's the normal rule.
So normal rule.
I don't know. I don't know where I got it from. I don't know where I got that. So yeah.
I think
there
it
you
was
go.
a leprechaun.
Yeah, I might have slept and might have been thinking about a lot of Yeah, so there you go. Combined Operations has been the German Army book rumour mill this evening. Please, everybody, do not go onto every Facebook forum and say this is what the new German Army book is going to be, because it's.
Yeah, it totally is.
Please do, because I get in
Totally
so
is.
much trouble.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely do it.
Yeah, let's get Matt into trouble. That's fair enough then. Let's get Matt into trouble. I heard from a bloke down the pub that Matt said that all German tanks are now getting a -20 to
test.
morale bonus.
Yeah, well, I think
when
the
they're on the
idea
table.
is if they're within something or other, that the enemy troops get a minus morale.
Yeah, so you heard it first. Any troops within 12 inches get -10 to their morale check when making an order if near a German super heavy or heavy tank.
And it then automatically
And
flee.
that is official. That is official.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. If we're doing it, if we're making shit up, we might as well go for hog wild on the whole thing, mightn't we?
The one I did like, the rumor I heard.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the second part of the special rule is that they get a free Tiger tank with every army.
Yes, that is an awesome special rule. The other rumor I heard was that Hitler's buzzsaw would count towards the tank, so it's like a double whammy for German tanks. German tanks got fucking awesome. They have lowered enemy
already
morale. Pardon? Is that already in? Is it?
That's already in the book. That the Hitler buzzsaw is now for all vehicles as well.
Oh shit! I need to go reread it. So, yeah, I didn't do that.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't have a German vehicle last night. I just had an A9. Seems to do the job. It
wasn't in. Yeah, it wasn't in the set of rules that we saw and had. When we got it from discussion and all the rest of it. It's basically some people who've had their books early because of Wall are doing the great thing over there's an event happening. I think it's early part of next month. So basically, to all the players, they've shipped out pre-release copies of the book, so everyone's clued up, and pretty much someone's taken a photograph of that snippet because it was all over a couple of the Facebook groups earlier this week that that the buzzsaw now is pretty much any German unit that's got an LMG or an MMG gets the +1 dice to it now. So expect to see a shitload of Panzer IIs and Panzer Ones and everything all over the floor.
I'm taking German tank platoons, dude. I don't care anymore. Just tank platoons everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, the thing is, you're not going to see German MMGs. You're not going to see them because why would you take?
Oh, hello.
Sorry, my wife's just passed me. I get it.
Shut the fuck up.
No. It's not that.
Is it a breaking news? Is it breaking news?
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not even that interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So
War is broken out
where
between
was I?
North and South Korea.
Yeah. Everyone's targeting. It's all like that thing in the Simpsons movie, isn't it? So like Tim, where you live, that's the place for North and South Korea to test their missile guidance systems on. So everyone's aiming the missiles at you right at this moment. So, yeah. So
It's funny because it's probably true.
God, where was I? Yeah. So German MMGs. Honestly, I don't think you're going to take them because you're not going to see them as much as people are talking about them. Because why would you take an MMG when you can take a Panzer One, Panzer Two, or whatever that's got two MMGs on it and armoured and can move, and for maybe I haven't got the points in front of me, but maybe it's still like 30, 40 points more. It's a little bit of a no-brainer, to be honest.
I think I'm going to resort to a ad campaign down under here. I don't know if you guys have it for the. I think is it Old El Paso, the taco ads? Why not do both? I think I'm taking German MMGs in my early war list. I think they look cool. They are cool. I'm going to be taking them, and I'm going to be taking early war tanks to boot. So, fuck it, MMGs everywhere. I don't care if they're armored or unarmored. They're freaking cool now. So that's how I see it. I'm definitely taking MMGs.
Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Matt, have you got any more rumours for us? Come on, have you been texting your man on the inside to find any more rumours for us?
No, I think I'm actually out.
Just...
I think everything I had has already been released now, so we did this episode like 2 weeks too late.
Right, okay.
But the German one is the only one I had left in reserve.
All right. Well,
I think
that's
the
all
German
right.
one's pretty good.
Yeah, because it's better to be late than too early, isn't it, Matthew?
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. Ladies and gents, I think we're going to take a break for a couple of minutes. So gives you a chance to go.
Still need that poop.
Grab a beer, grab a coffee.
I need a pee-pee.
Have a shower. Go to use the water closet, and we'll be back in 10 minutes. Should we say 10 minutes? We'll be here chatting.
Five.
If you could, yeah, all right, 5 minutes. If you come back in 5 minutes, we'll be here.
All right.
Right, yeah. Definitely have to go to the toilet.
didn't have any goodbye music.
Pardon? Porno music?
We didn't have any goodbye music for Bolt Action.
Isn't there a... Oh, yeah, Bolt Thrower I'm thinking of.
All I've got is the Sharp theme tune in my head.
How does that go?
Trying to think of a bit.
I need to watch that series.
We all shall lead more happy lives by getting rid of brats and wives that scold and bawl both night and day, over the hills and far away, over the hills and over the main, to Flanders, Portugal and Spain. The Queen commands and will obey, over the hills and far away.
Oh, we need to cut that in.
No.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And it's all live and recording. Yes.
I feel sorry for the poor bastard that watched that live.
It would be a good outro.
Might get sued for it.
Really?
I don't know.
Is it a we'd check that out, but it might.
I'm pretty sure
it
the
sounds
song's from
it's
like
an old...
the 1700s. I think we'd probably be okay.
Yeah, no, we're okay. Yeah, I think you're allowed to. It's like singing Danny Boy. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. It's here, in sunshine or in shadow. I don't know any of the words because my gold's been stolen. Oh, look at me, Lucky Charms! Me, Lucky Charms! Oh, dear. Oh, Kieran's not here. Oh, well. So, there you go.
Well, that'll be great. Don't tell him that I sang anything, because when he listens it back to edit it, it will just be a surprise for him.
Oh, totally. It'll totally be hilarious. So, yeah. Brian Bunker.
Yes.
I know what you did.
We all know now.
I untagged myself, but yeah. Anyway, now we all know. No, I'm not going to do those push-ups. I work in a mental health institute. People should know, regardless of push-ups, how debilitating and how bad PTSD can be. We deal with a lot of homeless people at work. I don't want to go into any more detail than that, but a lot of their those socioeconomic issues are created by mental health issues like PTSD, depression, etc. Now, yeah, and it's very sad. So, look, I'm well aware of what it does, and I think people should be in general. I think a lot more can be done by donating to causes like Beyond Blue. I'm not sure what the causes are in England that help with mental health. I know Prince William, Harry, and not Charlotte, that's the baby. Wadey Katie are doing a lot to help with mental health issues. Yeah, and, I think... I think the push-ups are quite irrelevant of the issue itself. Enough said.
Just read my comment on Tim's post.
I can't. oh yeah, yeah, my Facebook post. Yeah, and Matt did make a very facetious, if pertinent, point that I think the issue was the reason the whole push-up thing came about was because 22 American former soldiers commit suicide because of PTSD-related issues. Is it daily?
I can't remember.
Daily or something like... Yeah, it is daily. Therefore, we can draw the conclusion that for every push-up you do, those 22 push-ups a day, you are killing an former American serviceman. So yeah, just don't do the push-ups. Donate to Beyond Blue or to another cause that can help those servicemen and stop them from committing suicide in the first place.
Of course, PTSD is not just brought on, by servicemen.
No.
It's a unfortunately far too common in other people as well who've gone through traumatic events.
It really is. So there you have it. No, Brian, I'm not doing the push-ups.
He's not.
I work with it every day. Enough said.
Tim, it's your section next, so I think we can just leave that as your section.
Is that my section? Cool.
That was your section.
That was my section. All right, that was a bit wasted.
Yeah, that won't be in the MP3, mate. That won't be in there.
No. But I'm sure Brian Bunker's watching. But I'm watching you, Brian. Who's watching you?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right, so before we move on to the next topic that we've got penciled in and scripted in for this evening, Matt, have we had any comments, any feedback from anybody who's watching, anything that we want to bring up?
I think Brian Bunker just unfriended us.
Breaking news. Hang on. I think no, but I'll check.
Yeah, just have a quick check, see if anyone's made any comment.
So far, not on Facebook. There's no Facebook comment. Oh, Paolo, wait. No, he just put a heart on it. I'll take that. Thanks, Paolo. I'll just check YouTube as well. But I have to do it really backwards because it doesn't really like us doing stuff like this. So I have to watch myself live. I'll just check YouTube as well. I have to do it really backwards because it doesn't really like us. Right, I don't like that. Yeah, Chris is. We've got a comment, but it's nothing. It's not a question, so we can just carry on.
Right. Okay. Tim, do you want to do the talking on this one because it was something that I pointed you to? Do you want to take it up, or do you want me to run through it first and then?
I didn't. With everything going on, I haven't been able to watch the video. I've got to be honest.
Right. Okay.
Sorry. I am sorry, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
That's no problem.
You had one job,
No
Tim.
problem.
One job.
Yeah, make America great.
Yeah. So, as people listening and as people watching would know, so one of the topics that we try and put in every podcast was something we've jokingly put the title on of Tim's Tips. But it's basically sort of like hobby and modelling tips for predominantly painting and little things for getting the best out of best out your painting, best out your putting your models on the table. One of Tim's Bibles that he brought, I think it was to the first episode, was a gentleman called Mig Jimenez. Now, anyone around who knows about painting products and about modelling techniques out there would know range that this gentleman puts out. It's basically called, I think it's called MIG, isn't it? And it's basically a range of
MIG ammo.
MIG ammo. So it's basically sort of a range of weathering effects that he puts out. And there's also quite a lot of online videos where he talks through the different techniques, this, that, and the other. One of them I watched a couple of days ago, and it's got something in it that I'd never really considered before. For basically, it's working on getting the contrast on your figures when you're painting them. I mean, you know, a lot of people use the highlighting technique, so they're using the paint colours to get the contrast on their figures. But there was a question asked of Mig when he was doing one of his demonstrations about, you know, the last, like the protective coat that you put onto your models once you finish painting them. You know, whether it's just a all over matte varnish and all over satin varnish and all over normal high gloss varnish, about which one you know, he would recommend to use. And basically he stopped in the middle of doing the demonstration that he did, and he brought this point up, which I'm going to relate to you now. The thing was, what he said was that when you look around you every day, not everything falls into a gloss, a satin, or a matte finish. So pretty much, even on, you know, if you look at a person standing in front of you, that somehow, you know, a skin wouldn't be the same level of varnish that clothing would. So skin would be a satin varnish, clothes would be a more of a matte finish, and then, you know, metalwork or leather work would probably be a bit more of a gloss finish. So I pose this question back to Tim about, instead of using colour to get your contrast, do you think that it would be an idea that you could use the varnish that you finish your models with to get that contrast in your figures? Because pretty much at the end of the day, you know, we're primarily concerned on World War II modelling on this podcast. So as we know, World War II colour schemes are pretty drab, they're pretty boring. You don't really, unless you go the you know, the different highlighted colours technique, could you use that technique of using the different varnishes to get that contrast in your figure? So come on, Tim, dazzle me. What do you think? Do you think it's a good option, a good way to go?
Yes and no. I think, yeah, it's a definite yes and no answer. I think that technique would work really well on your larger miniatures, but being a game, we're generally dealing with anywhere from, say, 15 millimeters all the way up to about, I think, 1 to 48 tops, which is 28 millimeters. So you're not necessarily going to see those contrasts as effectively as you would for a larger purpose-built, display piece. You certainly could give it a go and see what happens. I think I'd keep in mind that a lot of the weapons, they dulled them down as much as possible so they weren't as shiny. So I don't know how much a gloss varnish would come into the metallics and all the rest of it. So I tend to darken mine quite a bit. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it turns out. I think.
I think we've lost Tim again.
With gaming pieces, after putting the colours on, the paint on, and the decals on, I then do a satin coat, and that will allow it to protect the miniature in order to do my weathering effects, especially when you're using the MIG ammo enamel effects, because a matte enamel and the thinners you use to pull back the weathering will strip acrylic paint if you don't use that satin varnish on it. And then after you finish the weathering, then a matte coat of matte varnish. So yeah, but in terms of using it for the contrast, it's something I definitely have a look at. I'd probably do it on a test piece to see how it looks first. But I'm not sure, because we're dealing with lots of about 30 odd miniatures. I'm not sure for the time conscious gamer that would be time effective. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It'd be cool to have a go at though. Kieran?
Yeah, but you know, because I was just thinking about, surely time-wise, it's not going to be really any different between trying that technique and trying something where you're building up multiple levels of highlights to try and get the contrast on it. So I don't think so. Like time-wise, it's going to be any more of an issue than what you're already doing. I mean, because basically you could do the figures as you do. I mean, you will, honestly, you will still have to put some kind of highlighting in there.
I think because highlights to do with lights, I don't know that, because the gloss and the varnish finishes aren't so much to do with light. It's to do with, I suppose, reflection. I guess still to do with light, and how light bounces off, I guess. But yeah, I'm not really too good on my light theory. That said, I think highlighting would bring it out a lot better than matte coats would, or varnishes would. Yeah, especially at that size miniature.
Yeah, because the way he explained it was that pretty much your different varnishes have a different texture when they're dry. So basically, the way that your light bounces off the figure once it hits it, bounces off different ways for the different varnishes. So the glass varnish is quite a smooth texture. So a lot of the light bounces directly back at you when you're looking at it. Whereas, the varnish and the matte, they have a different texture to them, so they disperse the light a bit more, which is why you don't see as glossy. So I'm thinking it's pretty much the same idea about what you're doing when you put the highlights on. You're trying to get the light to react to the model in a different way to show it up.
Yeah, I just don't know that you'd see the effect as well on a small miniature. You know what I mean? Certainly, I think you would, but I don't know that you would on a infantry figure.
Yeah. I just really found what he was talking quite interesting. I did think, could you use it to do it? So it's like you say. I mean, it might be worth just to have a go and just see what the finish is. I mean, because to be quite honest, it's one of them things. If you're not as good doing that build up of highlights using colour, it might just give you another option than doing it, because you could do your your base colour and your army painter wash on it, and then use the varnishes to define the different areas. So you've still got your initial base highlight from using the wash, but you're then enhancing those highlights rather than using colour. You're using the varnish. So I don't know. It might work. It might not. But I just thought
I'm leaning towards the latter, I've got to say.
Yeah, but that's because you're good at it. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue that, but I think you're better off using your shades and your dips if you're not good at it than you are using that varnish technique. That said, the Army Painter system, their dip does leave a gloss satin finish if you're using the dip. If you're interested in that, which obviously if you give it a matte coat, matte varnish, that'll take that gloss away. So it's an interesting one to look at it. I will give it a go over the next month in between everything else, and I'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we'll see. It might be nice just to, like you say, just have a mess about with it and just see if it does. If it does,
I'll do a video.
I'll do a video. Yeah.
I haven't done a video in ages, so
yeah, you slacker.
Yeah.
Apologies for the lack of content on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, slackers.
It is second. It says Kieran, who's put no videos in.
Yeah. Well.
Actually, you did put a review up yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah. So come on then. Is there anything else you've been messing about with? Anything that you can relate as one of your tips out to the listeners?
I did spend €80 on a whole bunch of MIG ammo paints and weathering gear. I'm looking forward to using them. I bought a number of their paint sets. I bought the early war German paint set, which covers I think 1939 through to about 42, 43 in the Desert War. So great for painting your DAC and your Blitzkrieg forces. So I'll be looking forward to hooking into those paint sets. And the cool thing about those paint sets is it allows you to, it comes with all the highlights. So it'll start with the deep dunkelgrau and work your highlights up. Also bought another number of different weathering effects. So that'd be really cool to have a crack at. And yeah, I'll get a video of, I'm going to do a Panzer II. So I'll paint a Panzer II. So I'll get a video together over several weeks of painting that one up for you in the not too distant future, I hope. What other weathering effects? Ooh, paint chipping effects, heavy chipping. So the Imperial Taurox I've got to paint will have paint chips, and I'll be using MIG Ammo's heavy chipping. So how that works is you lay on your base color. In this case, it'll be a deep browning red for rust, what have you. Then over that, you spray on, or airbrush on, the heavy chipping effect from MIG ammo. And once all that's dry, you then proceed to paint up your miniature as normal. So it'll have all the desert camo, all that sort of thing. Right. Then going back to the miniature, all the areas that you had put on the heavy chipping effects, you then go back and then you, with a very light scrape, I usually use a modeling tool, a sculpting tool, and just put water down over the paint, and then you gently scrape it back, and it'll bring out the original paint layer that was underneath, for some very cool chipping effects. So you don't have to be painting on the chipping effects, so to speak. So you can have really big paint chips and the rust showing through underneath, which looks pretty cool. So yeah, there you go. Heavy chipping effects from MIG ammo. Kieran?
Yeah, great stuff, mate. Great stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with, and all the bits and pieces to make us even more jealous. About it. So there we go. So yeah, so Tim and me have been messing about with some painting. Now, Matt, as our resident, get hold of every game he can. So we're going to hand the floor over to Matthew to run through. No, you tell us, Matt. What's the big game you've been playing at the moment?
Well, I mentioned it earlier at the start, and it is, well, the main one for me at the moment is Guild Ball, the game of fantasy football in some sort of medieval steampunky type world. It's a fantastic game. It's in season 2 now because they released the books, as in sort of like each book they release is a new season in the game. One of the best things about the game is the actual books themselves, because it's got an ongoing story in the books that progresses each time they release some new books and text and stuff, which is really, really cool. And I actually generally just like following the stories. I hope they release some novels. That'll be really cool. But I've got 3 teams painted up now. And I've got one I didn't paint myself. Oh, actually 2 of them I didn't paint myself. One of them I paid to be painted by a friend of mine who's done a fantastic job. That's my main team, the Fishermen. That you can see those on the YouTube channel. I've just painted up my own team of engineers, and obviously the bolt action is getting to me because I painted in brown and green. So yeah, that nothing really changes when you're painting. And I also have another team, which is the Union, which my brother painted for me, or most of them. And they look great. And they're sort of mercenaries in the game, so any team can use a few of them. I'm trying to get Tim to play, actually. I want him to get a team and paint him up, and then when he's over, he can play me. Isn't that
I
right,
have
Tim?
actually played a game. I played a game against my mate Jared, and it is quite fun. It's like soccer without all the boring bits.
Yeah, it's very brutal. Some of the I think the teams are very balanced. There's a couple of players that sort of people see as overpowered, but from what I've been reading recently, the US and the UK sort of metas are very, very different. I think there was a tournament, quite a big tournament at Gen Con, and I think one team came first, second, and third, and pretty much used the same 6 players. But then in England, it's completely different by the sounds of it. So
how does that work? The same team getting the winning all first 3 places.
Just it's like 3 players playing British armies in a bolt action tournament and coming first, second, and third.
Oh, righto. Yep, gotcha. I know. I know what you mean.
So I'm going to be running a little event myself. I've got 6 friends. I actually have 6 friends. Kieran. And we're going to be running a little sort of scene. Trying to do it all in one day if we can. So everyone. And then just sort of have a little ranking system. I've got a little trophy. And there'll be some certificates for various awards. Hopefully we're going to have 6 different teams, although at the moment I think we've got 2 the same, but I'm trying to convince one of the players to play something else because we've got enough teams to cover. I think between the 6 of us, we've got every team currently available apart from the Alchemist team, so it should be fun. And I love the game. It's really fun. If you like your little sports games, people that liked Blood Bowl back in the day or now, it's different, but also, very enjoyable sporting game. But yeah, it's definitely worth looking up because you only need 6 models to play, and there's going to be a new 2-player starter set in plastic being released in November/December, which features 2 teams. I'm not sure if it's going to come with like a sort of like a play mat or anything like that, but it's an awesome step up because at the moment all the models are metal or resin. So to have a plastic 2-player starter box is going to be fantastic for the game and get loads of new players in, hopefully. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough, to be honest, because I actually love it. Kieran was saying earlier about Bolt Action being the game that he's sort of found the funnest and sort of the easiest to get used to. I think I've got 3 games that fill that category for me, and it's Bolt Action, Guildball, and Frostgrave, just because they're just so easy to play and they're fun, and it's easy to get new players in. Although don't be nice to them because then they beat you.
Mine's Pokemon Go.
It's also that.
I wondered how long it would take you. I wondered.
What?
I thought you've been holding out. You've been so
what
good.
you're talking about.
It's almost 2 hours.
Holding out. You've been so good. Exactly. Yeah. I should have run some kind of book on this, but there you go. Yeah. So, Matt, can you give us? Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry about that. Can you give us a rundown of how? For anyone who's obviously there's people who have heard of the game who might not have tried it. Can you give us a brief rundown about how the mechanics are in the game? To be quite honest,
yes, I can.
Isn't it exactly the same as soccer?
You kick the ball at the goal and you win.
There you go. That's how.
The game mechanics are you have limited. Each player generates influence. And they'll generate a certain amount. It'll be either 1, 2, 3, or 4 is generally it's sometimes 0. So they create all your 6 players give you a pool of influence that you at the beginning of each turn you assign that influence to the players. Not necessarily, you can just assign the influence anywhere, depending on what you want to do that turn. So just because one player generates 3 influence doesn't mean you have to give them 3 influence. You can give 5 influence to someone else, but they have limits on what they can be assigned. And then it's alternate activation between players. They get to each pick a model, activate, and you have to score goals or take out the opponents. Basically, each character has generally 2 or 3 special abilities or rules, and a couple of character traits. So you do have to learn your team quite well, or else you do tend to find you forget a lot of things. But knowing the opponent's team helps significantly as well, especially when you forget that one of the guys has a free 6-inch charge range whenever you move within 6 inches of him, because that was painful in the last game that I played. But yeah, it's one of those easy to learn, hard to master games, because you can play it. There's some sort of quick rules in the book which let you play with just 3 players rather than 6. On like a smaller pitch, but certainly it's it's becoming one of my most played games very quickly because I haven't been getting much bolt action in recently, and newer players. It seems to be easier to get my friends who may not like miniatures games quite so much to get into this because it's a sporting game, and they're like, "Oh, it's football. I know how to play football," and then they realise there's a lot more to it than that. But it's been fun just to throw a few dice around with some different people and just seeing their reaction to it. But I will be playing a game tomorrow against my friend's Morticians team, which I may do a little bit of a live Facebook video. It won't be me sort of talking too much. I'll just have it on watching the game rather than trying to explain what's going on, but just so people can have a little watch if they would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Hopefully I'll win.
Yay!
You have to get. You'll have to get someone doing a proper play-by-play commentary on it, like you see on Match of the Day and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean the other option is if my housemate plays against my friend that's coming down, and then I might do the commentary.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see. It'd be nice to be able to, Tim stepped it up in the last 24 hours, putting that, the live feed of the game in. So I think it might be something that we might have to look at a little bit going forward. And I don't know how. Everyone will feel about watching us slowly ponderly fuck our way through any game that we've played, but at least it'll give a lot of people a bit of vile to sort of spit back how much stuff we're getting wrong and how we're
Yeah, well, I kind of figure like
destroying it all or whatever.
You look at X-Wing and they've got you look at X-Wing and they've got YouTube channels devoted to pro play and all that sort of thing. So I can't see why
but let's show the amateur leagues.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we I think we might have to invest in some better, I don't know, stands or what have you for cameras to be mounted on, and yeah, you don't have to be handing them off to different people, and like it was last night, it was all very unprofessional last night. But I'm sure we could make it a little bit more professional.
I'm just going to try and have my phone just set up sort of overhanging the pitch, just so people can watch, and hopefully I won't knock it down too many times. But that's the plan anyway. I just thought it'd be nice for us just to show something a bit different as well, because obviously we are mainly bolt action based, but it's nice to show off some other stuff now and again. Speaking of other stuff, hopefully, all being well, I should have my Drop Fleet Commander Kickstarter by certainly by the next episode, because it's supposed to have been arrived already. But I'm looking forward to that too.
And Small Terrain have a Kickstarter coming out soon too.
I've only been dimly aware of this. I mean, it's been hinted at.
Yeah, so I think 30th of this month, I believe. So
the day after.
Hopefully. Ooh.
To all the viewers who want to get me a present.
I think we might have to get Andy back on.
Yes, actually, definitely.
At least as a interview.
I think we should
at the very least
get him on. So beginning of October, while his Kickstarter's running, we'll get him on and have a chat about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, so is that the only bits and pieces we're looking forward to? I mean, I know everyone's looking forward to version 2 landing on the doorstep in the next few weeks or whatever. But is there anything else that we've seen round and about that we've gone, ooh, we're really excited to see that coming out? Or,
I know it's
really
been
want
out
to get
for a
hold
long
of that
time.
kind of thing.
I know it's been out for a long time now, but I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on a copy of Battle Group. So yeah, I've been chatting to Andy Singleton about it, and even Andy Bryant, and yeah, they sing its praises long and loud. So I'm looking forward to having a look at it. It looks pretty cool. So yeah, I am looking forward to playing some Battle Group.
Yeah, because I've got the because it's really quite a strange setup that they have it because they've got sort of like the rule book, but then it seems to actually play sort of like a meaningful game of it. You have to have one of the campaign supplements that run alongside it
Yeah.
as well. So you've got your rule book, which has got the the backbone of the game in it, but to add any kind of flavour to it or whatever, you have to have one of the supplements. So I've been reading the rule book as it is, but I haven't ventured out to get any of these supplements yet. So
you can get them, I think, quite cheap from the Plastic Soldier Miniature Company store page. So I think it's as a PDF. So the Overlord, which you can't buy as a book anymore because that was a limited release, is 10 quid as a PDF, and that gives you all your European, British, and American, and some Fallschirmjäger and SS lists to the Germans, and then of course you've got Battle Group Kursk, which looks at the Kursk campaign, and there's a Blitzkrieg one, a Watch on the Rhine one. So yeah, that's where all your army lists are. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, just reading through the rules, it looks like a very interesting game, but it's not one that I'd be willing to start up myself with somebody else who hasn't played it. I'd like to be able to sort of sit down with someone who understands it and go through it that way rather than from going back to a bolt action perspective. Bolt action was quite at its core, it was a quite easy game to understand and get up and running. Whereas Battle Group is another step above. I mean, it's not this. When you see some people with some historical games they play, the amount of detail that has to go in to everything you're doing on the table. But I just think it's that little step above that I'd rather be more confident that somebody held my hand and walked me through it so I could better understand the principles of the game, which is another thing why I'm hoping with Jamie setting this War Games club up that we're going to try and do a lot of different games going forwards. So it's going to be so like every 2 weeks we're going to have a meeting. So like say the first one's going to be a bolt action one. Second one might be I don't know a Battle Group one. Third one might be
Saga.
Malifaux one. There might be Saga one. There might be maybe a Guild Ball thing or whatever. So we're going to. I think one of the things we're going to try and do with the club is have as many games, cover a lot of stuff, and then if people want to, turn up and only want to play one type of game, then that's cool. So, so we'll try and get as many games, many different games, many people, different people involved, and all the rest of it, and see where it goes.
Cool. Yep.
Awkward.
Chirp, 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 chirp.
We all muted at the same time. That's funny.
Kieran's still muted, and
Kieran's
he's
just like, I'm done. Kieran's done. He's just like,
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the wife, but I was actually looking at the camera because the wife was just saying she's just about to go to bed. So I was saying, sweet dreams and all the rest of it. So I wasn't talking to you anyway.
No.
Yeah, you'd like to think it's all about you, but to be quite honest, sometimes it isn't. Anyway, so yeah, Anybody else? Anybody got anything else that they want to put on the table? Anything else they want to talk about this evening?
No.
America.
Not again, Tim.
Yeah, so, well, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for putting us up with us for another couple of hours while we chatted inanely about nothing in particular. Hopefully, after now we've said the goodbyes, what we had, hopefully, we're going to have, like we say, the memoirs and eulogies and bits and pieces from everyone else who's submitted them to take us out to the end of the episode. So, just like to thank you for your support. Thank you for your likes and your comments on Facebook. If you have any more, then please feel free to send them over. We pretty much read it and reply to everything that we get, good or bad. And yeah, next episode is coming up in about another month's time. Hopefully, what we're going to do is it's going to be just after the October tournament that me and Matt talked about at the top of the episode. Hopefully, that will be done, so we can do a little event report on that.
From me as a player,
Tim.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to be playing in it as well, so
yeah, but you're not allowed to win it.
We worked it out, so I can't win anything from it, so I'm just going for a laugh, going for a giggle, and go and see how many people's day I can spoil by being that guy and all the rest of it.
I'm going to get combined ops t-shirts in every shot, every photo.
Yeah,
need to get one of those.
Yeah, you need to sort yourself out for when you go into shows and stuff like that, mate. Yeah, so like I say, so we're going to have the event report from that. Tim mentioned that he's going to the Bolt Action event in, I don't know, what is it, a couple of weeks?
Oh, week. It's a week. Week yesterday. Or week today, your time. So, yep.
So obviously Tim will be reporting back from that, and if anyone who's noticed on the Facebook group going back, he has actually got a grudge match set up.
Yes.
For that event, so hopefully we'll be able to.
Yeah, hopefully that
pull one out the back for the team.
Yeah, it was a little while ago that I laid down that challenge. So Harry Turner, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, so don't be scared, Harry. Don't be scared. If you actually listen to this, there's no reason to be scared.
We've played before, so, and I got thoroughly schooled by Harry. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting game. I was really hoping to play against Harry's Finns, but he'll be running Gurkhas instead. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. So hopefully that will be done.
I get to play Jamie Tranter.
Yeah, Matt's made up the draw list that was put up for the October event. He's getting to play a few people that he's in awe of. So hopefully I won't need. I might need to bring a box of tissues for just for Matt, just in case he needs them to fix it.
I feel really bad when I beat them.
That wasn't what I was thinking. What you're going to use the tissues for, mate? But there you go. So yeah, event report next time. Maybe Matt will be able to give you a little report on this Guild Ball event, friends gathering that he's having when he gets it sorted out. So yeah, look out for more content on the Facebook group. Look out for more content on the YouTube page. And like I say, anything you want to ask, anything you want to know, anything you want us to cover, just let us know. Just drop us a message, and we'll see what we can do about it. Well, that's pretty much it. So thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the messages to follow. Cheers.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.